Experiments on Americans to attract the attention of a younger audience. CIA Director James Woolsey said he expected the experiments to be endorsements from TV and rock stars. The U.S. military expects the younger audience to fly.
The Dirty 30 Podcast.
The Dirty 30 Podcast, y'all. Episode 14. We made it.
We back.
Happy 41st day of the year, everybody.
It is indeed the 41st day of the year.
Yeah, February 10th. We got Monday, February 10th, the 41st day of the year. That means too, because it's leap year, which we still didn't study it up. So episode 15, we're going to bring you that leap year shinfo. But
Wait, no, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Dude. Okay, so we have 324 more days until the end of the year, but 325 this year. But why is that? Tell me on this leap year info. We got to pick right back up on that.
Okay, so I was a little off because I said it had something to do with like the syncing of the world clock, and I wasn't necessarily wrong because it is for the purpose of times, but ultimately leap year is a calendar year containing an additional day added to keep the calendar year synchronized for the astronomical or seasonal year. My understanding is that Julius Caesar put this in place so that seasonal holidays stayed around the season that they were supposed to happen. So by having a leap year in there every fourth year, you're adding an extra day to make up for the time so that seasonal like holidays and stuff don't adjust. So that's a synchronization for that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Baker. That was epic. Hell yeah, dude. I'm so glad you looked that up. Well, no, yeah. So you totally weren't wrong in any way, but it was just a very more or a much more, I don't know,
Specific reasoning for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a much more in depth version of what you had. Yeah, that's cool. Well,
yeah, but that also means that there's 325 days left in this calendar year because it's a leap year this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And only on a leap year would something as crazy as February 10th this year. It might only be on leap years, but it's National Slap and Grab Ass Day. So if you guys are wandering down those hallways today, just slap that ass.
Just slap that ass. That's all you got to do. Don't worry, it's 2020. No one will care.
Right? And also, if you were born on February 10th, this is real. This is on the internet. This is obviously real. If you were born on February 10th, then you are a special one. You're athletic, fun, smart, cute, and loving even when you don't want to show it. If you have a friend that was born on February 10th, you got to keep them close because they're going to be your best friend for life. Hey, and if that person's born on February 10th, you got to tell them the truth. You got to tell them that you love them. Here's a scenario. Person one says, when was that person born? They are so cute and athletic.
And I'll be person two. They were obviously born on February 10th. It makes total sense, Shane.
It's logic. It was, and that also is one of those things that was on the internet, so it's obviously real.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. February 10th. How have you been?
I've been all right, dude. I've just been fucking, just been living.
Yeah.
Just been doing it. It's actually been a fucking crazy couple of weeks and a bunch of weird, just family stuff. Other than that, dude, it's been crazy hectic work life, but in the best way ever. Like, I feel like
brain busy, man.
Yeah, but it's always there's always this real weird balance in my life where when some chaotic shit's going on the other side of it, it's just fucking going good, dude. It's always like my work life will be going crazy good, real life not good, but along with that fucking work life going good, music shit's been fucking super good.
Yeah,
and I've just been on this fucking kick where I think literally in the last week, and I've tossed them all over to you. And actually, it was you telling me that one of the songs was like kind of at the point that I didn't need to add anything else, which kind of made me go, oh, I got to work on another song then. And then that kind of snowball effect this whole thing. So actually I do have to thank you. You fucking are constantly we toss so much music back and forth. It's fucking it's been pretty fun, but we've been on this lo-fi kick. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know what the fuck it's called.
Just making some ambient fucking cool fucking tunes.
Yeah, just textures, very melodic textures. It's
definitely.
It's been a weird one. It's been rad though. These songs are coming out really cool, and we have really cool ideas and plans for them too, which is fun. And that none of these plans, we're not going to share any of them with anyone.
No.
Eventually, maybe we might share it with you.
Maybe.
Or you'll just hear it somewhere, and then you'll go, "Oh, that's cool," and you'll never know that we actually helped make it. So
that would be the dream, right?
Yeah, ideally,
yeah. On top of that, though, we've been on this kick for a little while, though. I remember I made a couple those soundscapes that I sent your way, the alkaline and the other one, and I opened up that alkaline project the other day, and that one is that's a fun one, just the one that you and I sent back and forth. But
I put like 2 or 3 bass tracks on that one, and I don't even know what I was doing, but
yeah, well, it sounds kind of cheesy,
rad.
but I've been making tunes for my son. It sounds kind of weird, but like he's at the
metal?
age. Not death metal. He's he's at the age right now where like auditory stimulation's a good thing for his like brain development while he's fucking in the
Dude, get those like belly headphones.
Oh yeah, I got my wife a speaker for Christmas so that she can just put it on her belly, and I've just been writing like soundscapes and cool like repetitive like melodies but like pleasing
Hell yeah
things, and just putting it on her belly, and then he just starts moving around like crazy while it's playing. It's pretty cool.
Do some like subliminal shit in there too.
Yeah.
Just
men are superior. Just keep the patriarchy going, you know?
Oh shit. That I mean, he is a baker.
I love that shit, dude. I love
Hell
that.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, the past 2 weeks, man, the Super Bowl, football's over. Football's happened.
Over.
Yeah, what'd you think of the Super Bowl?
I can't wait for fantasy football next year. I watched it over at Travis's house. Travis and James. It was rad, and we were all in the fantasy league together, so it was even better because we had already had like a very, I don't know, when you spend one of those together, just the football game, the game of football becomes that much tighter with you guys in general, because truly we were all just sitting there shooting the shit the whole time. We had some real good beers. We were actually making micheladas. It was fucking rad, but the game itself was cool. I guess everything I kind of thought that would happen started to happen. James jinxed it. Truly, I'll put that out into the world right now. James totally jinxed it. They were up by, I think, 10. San Francisco was up, and then James was leaving to go back to like Seattle to meet up with like college friends or something. And then
fucking James like, Baldwin, man.
He said something like on his way out the door.
What a beautiful human.
And Travis and I just looked at him and we're like, dude, you just fucking jinxed it. Like we and and then like the next 10 minutes of football goes by and Mahomes just fucking picks apart everything. And
fat shout out to James Baldwin, the only man that's ever thrown up on me that lived to tell about it. So shout out you, James Baldwin.
That's crazy. I'm usually the one that always brings that up. That's cool that was you this time. I wasn't even gonna do it.
One of the few times. Yeah, I did it. It's okay.
Hell
old
yeah,
now.
Dude.
We're old now. We can talk about these things.
Over the weekend, you watched that excellent display of judging by the UFC's. Well, no, it's never the UFC. It's the commissioners of whatever the sports area whatever the sports commissioners of whatever town they're in or what state they're in. So it's not even just the UFC's fault, but the piss poor judging in the UFC over the weekend. I love John Jones, and I obviously want him to win always, but I don't think he won. And he did win. Actually,
I don't think he won, but I don't think he lost. Like, that's one thing about the judging. I don't think that the scorecards that came out were right. And there's another thing, is that anytime the UFC goes to fucking Texas, something fucking backwards like this happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
true.
it always fucking happens. Their commission can't get their shit together. But I don't disagree with them saying that John Jones could have won that fight based upon the third, fourth, and fifth rounds only. The first 2 rounds for sure went to Reyes. So for that one official to have judged it 4 rounds for Jones was absolutely ridiculous.
I had Reyes 3 rounds. Jones dominated the 2 though that he did. He didn't necessarily get dominated in the 3 rounds that he lost. He took more
in
hits.
the third round though. He was pushing forward that whole round. I think Reyes countered with some big shots, but I think that Jones was pushing it, and in the third round, he technically got a fucking takedown, and that counts for something.
I think the majority of the fight, he was pushing it too, and I think that's where a lot of it came out. Is even in the rounds that he lost,
but also
he was still pushing forward, and he was engaging the majority of the shots, anyways.
A reason why I don't think there could be that much outrage is because in a title fight, and it goes to decision, I think it's got to be a clear-cut victory for the challenger.
You got to beat that champion.
But I think he deserves a fucking rematch, and I think the UFC would be very smart to do that rematch because I thought John Jones actually came out looking pretty flat compared to other ones. He almost looked like OSP John Jones. He didn't look like John Jones in the past couple fights that he's had.
I want to see him move up. I want to see him move up and weight. I just... I don't know. We'll see what happens.
He will.
With it all.
He'll go to heavyweight, and he'll again be at heavyweight the fastest dude in heavyweight. You know what I mean? When he goes up a weight division, all of a sudden you get a little bit more labored speed on that side of things. So it'll be interesting to see.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I know Shane, you said that we weren't going to talk about our music project. You weren't going to talk about what we were doing musically, but I actually disagree, and I think that we should give the people a little sample of some music that we've been working on. So if you kind of listen carefully, you can hear it starting to fade in.
That's not even music that we're working on. That music's been good, baby. We made this song years ago now. You know what time it is. It's the Michelada. I see what you did there, dude. Yeah, we're getting this Michelada minute in early in this episode because it's just it's a new week. It's Valentine's Day coming up.
Yeah, I leave for Hawaii in 3 days, baby.
Oh shit, that's sick.
I'm dedicating this Michelada to that, and also while we do this Michelada minute, I got to give a shout out to a Michelada company out there called Michelada Papi. Not saying they're a sponsor or anything, but I actually bought a couple jars of this yesterday. I got sent them a link of theirs on Instagram, and it turns out that they were the 2019 winner of the Michelada Throwdown here at the Orange County Marketplace. And I had to try the Michelada mix. So right now I'm sipping on some Michelada Papi, and I 100% approve. So cheers to Michelada Papi.
Hell yeah. Ay, papi. If they sponsor us, I promise to never do that again. But until you sponsor us, I'm always going to do it. But it's beautiful. We got fucking February 10th, dude. We're going, you know what we're doing on this this episode too? As of right now, this is the oldest, this is the most throwback. This is just, I think it's one of the most epic. I don't know. But we're going back on this day. We're going February 10th, 1258. The Mongol invasions. Baghdad falls to the Mongols, bringing the Islamic Golden Age to an end.
To a violent end.
1258.
Damn.
I was more impressed that they just had that dated. Like, if they could really pinpoint that, that's... you can't get mad at that shit, dude.
That's written history, baby. You can't get mad at that. How about this one? 1940, Tom and Jerry make their debut with Puss Gets the Boot. There's a pun in there.
Right? Yeah, they were like real weird with that, like as far as like sexism and racism and all the things that like you shouldn't.
Oh
do.
yeah, dude.
Actually,
Fucking
old cartoons and shit. They all had that.
Warner
Even all
Brothers.
that old throwback Mickey Mouse shit.
Yeah, Warner
They didn't
Brothers
do,
just had to
blackface.
pull like a quarter of their old category just because it was like, yeah, we can't do that. Fucking
Hell yeah.
Elmer
we got
around here.
Yo, right. Here we got 1978. Van Halen's debut album was released. Van Halen. Yeah. They kill it.
Hell yeah.
I love Van Halen.
How
That's
about
about
this?
it.
1993, Michael Jackson granted his first interview in 15 years to Oprah Winfrey. In the interview, Jackson claimed that he has a disorder that destroys the pigment of his skin and that he had very little plastic surgery. Yeah, right, Mike.
Right. Dude.
It's crazy.
1996, IBM supercomputer Deep Blue defeated Gary Kasparov in chess for the first time. And immediately I know what you're thinking here. Who the fuck is Gary Kasparov?
And we're thinking the same thing.
I'll tell you. Gary Kasparov is the Russian chess grandmaster. He's a former world chess champion. He's a writer. He's a political activist. That's kind of weird. If you're a political activist and you're Russian, something scares me about that whole situation.
I'm going to tell you what, Shane. I don't like organizations that have titles like Grand Master, Grand Wizard. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, to that, we're going to have to say goodbye, Gary. Yeah, but...
All right.
I'm going to just
2007.
leave you hanging.
2007, then Illinois Senator Barack Obama announced his candidacy for president in the 2008 elections, which he later goes on to win, in case you were born under a fucking rock. So there you go, February 10th. Big day.
Yeah, I love him.
What else we got? Oh, we got one more. Kanye West's album, College Dropout, was released in 2004.
That's true. That was good Kanye, too. I'll admit it. I liked that album. That was,
100%.
That's a good album. Yeah, that's really about it. Not too much. There were no good birthdays. Oh, you know what did happen on February 10th, but I didn't really include it. But Shirley Temple died. I loved the drink. But
that's her legacy. That's all that anybody remembers. That's sad.
Little grenadine and Sprite.
Yeah.
No cherries, please.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah, true. You love that cherry. You can tie the stem with your tongue.
Yeah, dude. You know I can. And with my hands.
I've seen you do it with your feet.
Yeah, I could do it with the feet. Foot job. All right, well, that brings us to our list of. I like this one. It's going to be short and sweet this time. Our list of is going to be the top 5 rappers, in our personal opinion. Not only in America, I guess it's in the world, really. We're talking global. We're talking not local. If anybody wants to argue us on this, we actually feel pretty strongly about it. So we'll catch you in the streets. Our top 5 rappers in the world, in order. Dylon, and Dylon. Next segment. Boom, mic drop. If it wasn't on a stand, I'd drop it.
Dude, I know. I feel like I just got zapped. Like, psych.
Y'all been zapped.
Which actually, you guys have been zapped, because this episode's list of is actually our top 5 favorite Chappelle skits, and Dylon being number 5, which brings us to number 4, which is also zapped. So right there, you just got 2 of them in the list.
Y'all
But
been zapped.
That zapped episode when the kids are in the hospital and he comes out and he's just covered in blood, and he's just like, I don't know what to tell you, anywhere else to tell you, kids, but your parents are dead. And they just start crying, and then the parents are like behind the scenes laughing, like with the producers and shit. And then they're setting up funeral arrangements or whatever, and then they just zapped, come out, psych the kids real quick.
What was
Parents come out, everyone's laughing.
The next one is when the husband walks into the room and Dave Chappelle's on the bed with his wife.
The giant black dildo.
Yeah. Just kidding. Y'all been zapped. That was a great one, dude. All right.
Man.
That brings us to number
Player
3.
Haters Ball.
Yeah,
Player
which is
Haters Ball.
Fuck, a classic. I mean, one of the
Got
best
dolphin
lines.
teeth, dude.
Yeah, one of the best lines to come out of Chappelle's show, in my personal opinions, at least the one that stuck with me, is, "Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go home and put some water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish." That whole series of skits on that show were classic.
I had learned about it later on in life, but in one of the scenes for the Player Haters Ball, when they're sitting there and they're just like kind of freestyling off the pictures, they had been awake for so long and they had been shooting for like fucking 18 hours that day. Like it was just an insane shoot day. And then that was that Patrice O'Neal says it at one point, and he just, I'm going to say it right now, you know, and it's going to have a very soft R, but he says, "That nigga got dolphin teeth." And it's just a photo of P. Diddy. And it's easily the funniest fucking thing I've seen. And oh man, it's such a golden scene.
Yeah.
That sticks with me forever.
Before we move to the next number 2, I do want to give a reasonable mention to Mad Real World. That skit.
Oh yeah, Katie does have big ass titties. Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, white boy. Keep doing what you're doing.
My father.
You stabbed my father. I love that fucking skit. That skit was hilarious.
Yeah, I'll throw a quick honorable mention too. He couldn't make the list, even though he's here with us in our hearts. But Tron Carter, I love him. I named my bong after him.
Got my weed, got my bong out. Ooh. I'm feeling it.
But we got a Tyrone Biggums. We've got he's,
oh yeah, every skit with him was good, but specifically the Fear Factor one. That one, because Joe Rogan was in it. It's funny to look back on it and see that Joe Rogan actually was in it. Like,
he's been gone for a while, but he's back around.
The one where he's in the classroom talking to the little kids. That
Hey,
one is.
teacher bitch, I'm gonna need my.
I cash up front.
I got some errands to run.
That one was great, but yeah, the Fear Factor one was fantastic. When he ends up winning that big crack rock at the end.
There's something I don't think you know about me, Joe Rogan. I smoke rocks.
I smoke rocks. That was good.
When he lifts up the
bus?
city bus, yeah.
Oh, when he
For a
breaks
nickel
through
or some
the
shit.
when he breaks through the wall in the jail after drinking Red Balls and then comes back in to grab the pillow and the blanket. That was good, man. That brings us to number 1.
Yeah, I'd say number 1, and I think this is one too. We've talked about it before, but it's going to get talked about in my life for probably the rest of my life. But those Charlie Murphy, the True Hollywood Stories.
Classic skits. I mean, it's kind of what made it such a huge show, was especially that Rick James one. And it's also a tie-in because we had Rick James as our as a mention on this podcast from our infamous Buffalo episode. And
Right. I don't know if we've done Prince yet, but maybe
No.
one day we will.
we will. He'll be on the list. I mean,
Eventually.
I'm a huge Prince fan. I love Prince.
Ben Heston, if you hear this episode somehow, I'm actually not going to reach out to you and tell you this. I'm just going to start leaving Easter eggs around the internet for you. But I have your Purple Rain DVD. You let me borrow it like 15 years ago, and I just found it. So I
Ben,
just wanna let you know.
if you still have a DVD player, Cheyne has got you covered.
I have it. It's still safe with me.
Yeah.
But that Rick James, those stories were epic. But that whole skit that they threw on with it. Think about how many kids went to school and slapped their friends with that. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap.
After that episode, you know how many people I made pancakes after I whooped their ass in basketball?
Oh my God. Game blouses.
It just wants
That's
some
what's up.
pancakes.
This Michelada is delicious right now. I'm glad we cracked them early in this episode because now I'm sipping throughout the whole thing.
I'm already done
It's
with
nice.
mine, and I'm really disappointed that I drank it as fast as I did. But
I got the tall can picante. I went with the Modelo Chelada red can, classic staple.
staple, it is a staple.
But as well as being a staple, it's this next segment. And we've been bringing you straight edge friends. We've been bringing our friends from up the hill. We've been bringing you everyone. But what we stopped bringing you in a very structured way, which we felt very disappointed with ourselves, was we stopped bringing you ourselves. So this episode's strain of the episode. It's brought to you by us. So let's kick it.
The strain of the episode.
Master Kush is a popular indica cross from the two Landris strains from different parts of the Hindu Kush region by the Dutch White Label Seed Company in Amsterdam. The plant produces a subtle, earthy, citrus smell with a hint of incense, which is often described as a vintage flavor. The taste of Master Kush is reminiscent of the famous hard rub Charis hash. The strain holds a superb balance between full body relaxation without the mind-numbing effects. Instead, Master Kush offers a sharpened sensory awareness that can bring out the best of any activity.
Effects of this strain include relaxed, happy, uplifting, euphoric, and sleepy. Terpenes in the order of taste: caryophyllene, peppery, spicy. Terpene that may have anti-inflammatory benefits: limonene, citrus-scented terpene commonly believed to provide anxiety and stress relief, and myrcene, herbal, the most common terpene found in cannabis and has an earthy scent.
Master Kush, baby. You know, Master Kush, it is truly one of my favorites, and it's like the Master Kush of music is the person that we're trying to party with from the past. And if you don't agree with me, then you haven't smoked Master Kush, or you haven't heard this person's music,
Or
You
see
fight
this
me.
person's interviews, or
Don't at me.
don't at me. Don't at me on this one. The fact
James Joseph. Wait, no, you go. What were you saying?
no, you go.
I was just gonna say James Joseph motherfucking Brown, dude. James Brown.
Damn right, it's James Brown. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's been this long that we've waited to have James Brown on this, because I feel like he's a perfect candidate for party with people of the past. Not only because of what an icon he is. I mean, his resume is extensive, man. We don't have a long enough podcast to sit here and go over all of James Brown's credentials. You know,
No, we do, because I could hit it quick. 1953 through 1961, he was the Famous Flames. 1962 through 66, Mr. Dynamite. 67 through 70, Soul Brother number 1. 70 through 75, Godfather of Soul. 75 through 91, decline and resurgence. He kind of had some shit going on. But then 91 through 2006, those final years, baby, he was alive. He was alive.
You know, this is kind of fucked up, though, man. I don't know about this timeline, because here it says that he was the Godfather of Soul for only 5 years, from 70 to 75, but his final years were 91 to 2006. That's a long stretch. That's a long stretch, man.
He was like the great grandfather of soul. They just mislabeled it, probably, but the great godfather. I don't know, like
Yeah.
everyone's weird uncle of soul.
Well, it's kind of funny because James Brown, he's not a polarizing figure in any means. I think that he's just one of those celebrities that many different people know him for different reasons. You know what I mean? But he's got some crazy singles, you know, ones that will go down in music history as being some of the biggest songs ever written, performed. Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, that was huge.
Oh, yeah. Think about how much he gets resampled too. Like,
Yeah.
I hear his shit in so much music.
I Feel Good, I Got You. It's a Man's World. These are classics from James Brown. He was just an epic musician, epic performer. But on top of that, I think the reason that he is such an epic choice for our Party with People of the Past segment is because of his drug history. Is that
did you see though how much of a music Nazi he was for the early parts before he jumped into the drugs?
Yeah, like nobody on his entire entourage was allowed to be on drugs or alcohol.
Dude, he kicked Bootsy Collins out of his band because they took acid before a show. Catfish Bootsy Collins fucking took acid before a show in fucking 1971, and James Brown caught him and thought that they had been on drugs the whole time, so he straight kicked him out of the band.
Fuck, that's so insane. Especially knowing what James Brown later went on to do, man. You know what I mean? It's reported that him and his wife began using PCP, angel dust, for those of you that don't know.
Sherman Hemsley.
Drug usage resulted in violent outbursts from him, and arrested several times for domestic violence, which is not great.
He was married like 3 or 4 times too.
Yeah.
Dude. He's fucking. He also had 9 for sure kids, but possibly 13.
Possibly, yeah.
Lucky number, baby.
He'd smoke PCP and cocaine mixed with cool
Have
cigarettes.
kids.
I like
Just
that. Yeah.
Pop inside of women. Yeah.
All right, but have you seen some of his interviews? You know?
Oh, I love him. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm out on love. What was that? What was that? Did you say you're out of love or you're out on love?
I'm
out on love. Living in America.
Oh, yeah. It would have been sick to party with him. It would have been cool. It's another one of those dudes that if just we could have all jammed, would have been sick. I've had worse frontmen than someone like that in bands that I've played in, so it would have been real cool to fucking maybe have him sing. That'd have been sick.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed a night on the town with James Brown. I've always respected him from a musician standpoint. That guy's a legend.
Right. So here's to you, James. We're going to finish these micheladas. We're going to take you guys out how we always take you guys out, and that's with our good old boy, Jeff Goldblum. The original settlers of Alaska apparently were Russian. Jeff Goldblum.
Take it easy, everybody.
Have a good one, y'all.
Attract the attention of a younger audience. CIA Director James Woolsey said he expected the experiments to be reinforcements for TV and rock stars. The U.S. military expects the younger audience to fully comply.
The Dirty 30 Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Dirty 30 Podcast. Don't forget to like, rate, review, and subscribe on all platforms at TDT PCast. Again, that's TDT PCast.